I think there were 3 girls that were arrested in recent weeks. And why were they arrested? Because they were actually acting, I hate to use this word, they were pimping out their own friends and getting these girls into situations where they're being forced to prostitute themselves. And that's another danger of the digital world, because you don't, how can you, who would expect that their friends would turn on them and betray them in that manner? But this is something real that's happening in Ottawa. And I was shocked when I heard about it, but I'm not vulnerable to that. I'm an adult. So children need to know about that and need to know how to keep themselves safe and not go to strange places where things happen. So that's another danger, I think. A little while ago, Aisha was studying polygamy in school, the polygamy that's practiced in Bountiful, BC, and I just wondered what your thoughts were. Polygamy is pervasive throughout cultures. It's been present, I think, since time began. What do we think about it? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And what should we do about it? What does it affect? How does it affect girls and women in particular?
I have a huge family. I don't even know if people are in my family or not, because anyone who's Congolese is it can be a family member. There's a myth. I don't know if it's a myth or it's a fact, because you can never trust what the women in my family say, because they speak in such spiritual tones, but that my grandfather had 11 wives or something along those lines. It's interesting in discussions of polygamy, because it's fine if men do it. If polygamy is fine, it's only fine if men do it. And it's I would be totally cool with polygamy if it was, hey, we can all be polygamist, But it's usually predominantly men get to do it and they get to have all these wives, and women can't do that, So I don't even know. Even before you get into discussion of polygamy, it's again very patriarchal again. So I don't know what else I can say on it. Yeah, again, it's men can have anything that they want, and women are just objects, so.
Yeah, this is a very interesting topic. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep it brief. For a man to already have one wife I've seen cases where it's been pretty difficult. I mean, your children and your wife, and you have to provide for the family, and it's already, especially living in Canada, the cost of living is very high. So now to multiply that and to bring in another family and another wife and children, that's pretty difficult. And I think there could be dangers in that, in terms of the way that, the husband can treat his spouses equitably and fair between them. So I think if somebody is willing to do that, then we should really be very open with their spouse and the person that they're looking at, and to evaluate the pros and cons about that.
Okay. To be honest, I don't fully know what polygamy is all about. I did study that case in BC though. I think for these women, possibly, I don't know, because I'm not from there, from that culture, but I think it's people who have grown up in these communities, and from a young age, they see that they're normal for them, just like for us, having one woman is normal for us. So I personally wouldn't choose that path for myself, but I don't know, maybe for these girls, that's just what they've grown up with, whether that's right or wrong, but it's just what they know is.
If you're gonna have more than one wife, I think that you need to treat them all fairly, and you can't have a favorite. Also, my mom asked me to mention something. She said, say this also. She said, how do you have the energy for all those wives? And also, I don't think it's right for just men to do it. If men can do it, why can't women?
Yeah.
Polygamy is a very touchy subject because it's a practice that is like it's used in many cultures. In some cultures, it's used when there are orphan girls and there are poor girls who need to be taken care of, and marrying into a family is the only way that that can happen for her. And in some, it's just their way of life. It's how they feel that they will achieve. There's like they will get into heaven or whatever it is they believe. They believe that polygamy is the path to do that. The way we see it, we see like me personally, and a lot of people I know, we see polygamy as like men having several wives, and we see that as the wives being brainwashed and the wives not wanting to do it and the wives not wanting to submit, because the wives get married they get married at a very young age, 13 to 15 I think, and if they're older than that then they're considered old. They're usually married into families where they watch their husband fall in love over and over again. They marry husbands that are significantly older than them, and that's the perspective that we have, that it's just unfair to them, and it just we see that as being wrong. But then we don't see it from their perspective. Like, we don't see it as it being their belief, and we don't see it as them wanting to do it, because it's not something that a lot of people outside of that culture would want to do. So I'm just saying that if you're willing, it's okay, but like if it's not something you want to do, whether you are a man or a woman, then that should be recognized also.